Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. This is your host Cody Potter. How we doing today? We're going to get into this Commanders Broncos post game takeaways. Um, I mean, it's about as good as you could ask for if you're a Commanders fan at this point in the season with the way that everything's gone this year. So, I'm pretty happy myself. There are no moral victories, but it's just good to be competitive in a game. This is how you lose a game, man. If you're going to lose, make sure the team doesn't want to play you again. Make sure that they know you were there. The other thing I want to say is for everybody that was hating on Terry McLaurin for getting his bag, please send this man an apology because I'm honestly I'm baffled. I'm just baffled that everybody after having 13 touchdowns last year in for the first time with a quarterback. I mean, it's just. The man's a difference maker on the field. Is he just, as I said all offseason, is he Justin Jefferson? Is he Jamar Chase? No, but he is really freaking good at everything else. So again, put some respect on 1-7. Say you're sorry, because honestly, if you're a true Commanders fan, you don't like Terry McLaurin, or you didn't think he was worth the money, you're just nuts, man. This dude's he's an amazing football player. I mean, just feel blessed every time you watch him because he's the best we've had in a long time. Anyway, moving forward. Actually get to talk some critical moment football and things like that. Jake Moody, the addition, the kicker. He was a kicker that I really like coming out of Michigan. My best friend's a Michigan fan. And of course, they lost to Ohio State this weekend, so I'm sure I got to keep in touch with him for right now. But it is okay. Ohio State's a unit, and Michigan is on their way. Bryce Young just needs to develop. Not Bryce Young, Bryce Underwood. Anyway. We're talking Commanders Broncos today. So, Broncos, man, really good team. Defensive rankings, I mean, they're almost there with like the 85 Bears as far as the amount of points and sacks, turnovers, points, things like that. Well, our offense gave them a game. Marcus Mariota played really good, or as Chris Collinsworth said, Mariota. Just honestly, I'm just really good when you have a quality backup in this league, man. Jay Daniels goes down. We don't have to flip the scheme any. Marcus Mariota is a number 2 overall pick. I'm sure he's going to help Jaden Daniels as far as just really the things that come along with being a pro, man. Last year, you learned how to handle some success. This year, you're learning how to handle adversity. This year, you're learning how to handle injuries, man. Having Marcus Mariota in the room. He seems to be a really good person, man. Everybody that talks about Marcus Mariota, man, just a really good guy, really good ear, and a really good lesson, to take away from, man. He's always available with information, man. I'm really glad that we have him. Marcus Mariota played a really good game outside of I think about 2 or 3 plays. There was obviously some referee things, but as I always say, man, if you got to beat the referees, and you got to beat them too. Treylon Burks showed a little bit of something. I'm going to kind of talk about him in a minute. I'll probably talk about him when his clip comes up in the game. Deebo Samuel. I mean, it was nice to just see the wide receivers healthy for the most part. Moving forward, as I've said, I talk about it a lot on our forums and things like that, and it's why if the right player is available, wide receiver this year in the draft, and I think there's only about 2 or 3 that I really looked at give us something that we don't already have. Treylon Burks is a guy that I do think maybe you look to continue moving forward with. Do I put anything on him? Would he stop me from drafting a player in the top 10 at wide receiver? No. Would Deebo Samuel make me stop me from drafting a wide receiver in the top 10? No. Would Brandon Ayuk stop me from drafting a wide receiver in the top 10? No. Terry McLaurin needs a guy, and we need a guy to take over for Terry McLaurin long term. Yes, Treylon Burks is young. You just can't bet on it. You can't. As a GM, you cannot bet on it. We need some consistency. We need a long term piece moving forward. It would be nice if it was Treylon Burks, but the issue that I have with him, I guess we'll just talk about him now because the amazing catch that he had. There is a separation issue with him. Does he have the potential to be like a Deebo Samuel type guy? A guy that you can move laterally on screens. His height, he has a little bit of juice. He's not the biggest separator, in and out of his routes. His nuances aren't very crisp, but he can go above the rim and play. It's crazy to me that he is as an explosive athlete as he is. that he doesn't have better route running. I mean, but he is a bigger guy, so I mean, sometimes when you're a little bit bigger frame, sometimes you're not as quick and agile in and out of cuts and things like that. So again, Treylon Burks moving forward, I think he's carving out a nice little role in his team, man. I think it's, if he can stay healthy and things like that, things that plagued him in Tennessee. They're talking about his work ethic and things like that here so far. So if that can continue, maybe you get the best version of this player. Sometimes it takes, just like with the kicker, sometimes it takes, that second or third stop, whatever it is. I'm very, very happy that we have Jake Moody on this roster. He was a hell of a kicker in Michigan. He made a lot of big kicks in Michigan. It's definitely in him to do it. And as plagued as we've been in the kicker position, Jake Moody is a guy that I can finally get down with. He's young, has a future in this league. He has a big leg, and I've seen him make really, really big field goals. So I'm thankful for him. Again, Treylon Burks is a guy that I think can be a guy moving forward if he can stay healthy, if he can get past the things that plagued him in Tennessee. I think there's a real shot. As we get as we continue with this, this weather's killing me. As we continue on this episode, though, the biggest thing that I'm taking away from these games are the biggest things that I said I wanted to see from this team. Jerzon Newton, I need to see a bigger impact. His snap count is, people talk about snap counts. When he's on the field, do you see the impact? I see him getting pressure on the quarterback in passing situations. Do I need to see him improve in running situations? Yes. Mikey Samerstill, he played really, really, really good. There were a lot of situations where I saw him manning up against Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton had a little bit of success earlier in the game. I saw Mikey Samerstill start to play man on him. It just shows you, and he was playing inside out on him, and that pretty much took Cortland Sutton away for 98% of the game after the touchdown. So really, really good job on Mikey Samerstill. For all the Mikey Samerstill haters, all the Mikey Samerstill grades that he can't do this and he can't do that, the scheme is looking a little bit better with the Will Harris coming back, solidifying the communication on the back end of the defense, man. I mean, it's all the things that I said that we were seeing. We finally got to see them. Denver is a really good team. Are they a Super Bowl team? I don't know. I will say, I will give my hats off to Bo Nix, man. For a guy that used to take sack after sack at Auburn, this guy has cleaned up his sack-taking ability, man. Like, honestly, like this guy, there were about 8 times that we had pressure on him. So maybe out of those 8, you say 3 of those should be sacks, and he got sacked 1 time. Bo Nix, hats off to him. He played really, really good football. He gets rid of the ball. He doesn't take losses, man. That's a really, really, really key attribute, man. When instead of taking an 8-yard loss when you're getting rid of the ball, maybe you're not gaining any yards, but you're not taking a loss. That's a huge swing. Hats off to him, man. I saw him do it like 8-10 times in the game where there was really, really a lot of pressure on him. Most young quarterbacks would have taken a sack in that position, man. Hats off to him. That's a development trait. It's keen on to the work ethic for him. I give Bo Nix that credit. That defense is stout, man. Patrick Surtain, I mean, one of my favorite cornerbacks I've ever scouted in college. Coming out of Alabama, he's a stud. To see Terry McLaurin play him hard, Mikey Samerstill in the background right there laying that hit. Mikey Samerstill's a good player. He's going to be a great player for his team. Moving forward, man, is he going to be PS2? I don't think. Who knows? But he's definitely a hard worker. He's a really, really good football player. Just to see the nuances of this team on offense and defense, just play to the adjustments, play to the opponent. The game plan that they had was rock solid as far as getting rid of the ball quickly. Something Jaden Daniels needs to really, really pay attention to from Marcus Mariota from this game is getting rid of the ball quickly. Putting the ball in the hands of your playmakers and not having to be Superman all the time. We know you can put the cape on, but put the cape on when you need it, on the critical down and distances and the critical plays in the third and fourth quarter, second half. It's not Superman all the time. That's the reason that we're compiling these injuries. You gotta know when to walk away. It's like Bo Nix throwing the ball away. It's a development thing. It's something that Jaden Daniels will clean up. It was just nice to see this team fight, man. Honestly, it was nice to see this team fighting in a game. It was nice to see this game go into overtime in a lost season. I scout the draft. I'm really, really big on the draft, but I am never one to concede a game. I don't want to lose any game. I want to go 17-0. I want to win every game in the playoffs. I don't want to lose a game. I will talk draft position. I will talk the draft. It's my favorite thing to do. I scout players. It's my favorite thing to do. But I never want to win a game. I want pick 32 every year. That's the pick I want every year. I want to build Super Bowls off of pick 32 every year. That's what I want. Just to get that out of the way. But again, Chris Rodriguez, I got to give my hats off to Chris Rodriguez. I mean, it's actually nice just to talk about impactful players having impacts in the game, critical moment plays. Ja'Cory Cross-Gamera, I see him hitting the hole a little bit harder. Still see him a little indecisive at certain times. That catch by Treylon Burks was amazing. A little bit of OPI, but I'm not going to call that because honestly there were calls missed on both sides. And again, if you got to beat the refs, you got to beat the refs. And that's just what it is. Riley Moss is a hell of a football player on that team. He gets picked on a lot. He sees a lot of throws with Patrick Surtain and then Jahdae Barron in the slot. One of my favorite slot receivers from last year. He was my highest grade corner in the whole class as a slot receiver. Played really, really good. Almost had a timely pick, and that probably would have been the end of the game if he had kept his hands on that one in the fourth quarter. Again, to go into overtime, to play the way that we played, to overcome penalties, which is things you got to do. Good teams overcome penalties. If you make a mistake, whether it's a bad call by the refs or whether it's whatever, you got to be Vegas too. If that's what it is, good teams win games. Good teams overcome penalties. Good teams overcome mistakes. That's what they do. Good teams overcome turnovers. No matter what happens in the game, you beat yourself or you beat the other team. It is what it is. You beat the refs too. It's what it is in the football world, man. You cannot blame it on the referees. You can't whatever. It's all in the mirror. It's all in the players. It's all in the coaches to take responsibility. So again, to see us take responsibility in this game, to play a big matchup against a good team that's going to be in the playoffs, that can make some noise in the playoffs this year. This shows the level of team that we had coming into the season. This was the team that I expected to see throughout the year. Injuries plagued it. It happens. Sometimes you get a little bit down. But I think the impact of Terry McLaurin is obviously noticeable. When you have a number one on your team, you have a chance. He is a number one. He can beat number one matchups, and he is a true number one. It just is what it is. And it made everybody better. It made the run game more effective and more efficient. It made the passing game to Deebo Samuel and all the other things that you wanted to do in this offense. It opened that option to you. That's why I say getting another wide receiver in this draft might be the best thing for this team, not just long term, but for next year. Because you got to have a guy that can take over for Terry McLaurin down the road. Because I see Terry McLaurin in a couple years turning into that Santana Moss aged veteran, still route refined, still very, very smart, in and out of his breaks, in and out of his cuts, knowing where the holes in the zone are. The way that Travis Kelce is basically beating teams. He'll be that Keenan Allen type. Terry McLaurin has all the makeups for that. The suddenness, the burst, the nuances. He's just a really smart football player. Might not beat you, above the rim as he ages and things like that, but some of those things, he still has the type of game that translates long term. And he stays, for the most part, healthy. Takes care of his body very well. So as you age him a little bit, you're going to want that wide receiver to take over for him, but wide receivers take a couple years to develop. I personally think pass rusher is the biggest need on this team. I expect us to do something about that in free agency. I'm just saying that long term, you're not going to find the replacement for Terry in free agency. And if you do, you're still going to be looking for one in about 3 or 4 years. So again, I think the draft, if the player is there, which the player for me is Carnell Tate, I think he's the one that gives you something that you don't already have at the wide receiver position. The next one for me would be Denzel Boston. The same thing. It's a similar skill set, a bigger body guy. I like Carnell Tate because he gives you a little bit of that Reggie Wayne. He reminds me of Reggie Wayne coming out of college, out of Miami U. That's why I like Carnell Tate. To see the kicking woes get handled. I mean, after everything that's happened this year, it was just nice to see a clean game. I mean, from a time management standpoint, getting the timeouts early, but with about 3:50 in the fourth quarter, the way that they handled the time, the way that they handled the game plan, it was a very clean game, man. Playing the zone coverage, you can tell that they're playing zone coverage because they're not getting pressure and things like that. They were manufacturing pressure with Frankie Luvu, who had a good game. It's a collective thing, man. When you have the communication on the back end, the guys that are trying to get pressure up front, you can scheme them things up. That's how it was going to look all season with us because we didn't have a premier edge rusher. But we saw with Dorrance Armstrong. We've seen it with Chris Martin and guys like that, Jacob Martin and guys like that we can manufacture pressure. So again, this was the way that this team was supposed to look this year. If this team had played like this all year long, we're probably around 7-5. If we had looked more like we looked in the Bears game, more like we looked in this game, more like we looked in the Giants game week 1 with a little bit more, season on the offense, dude. I think the Green Bay game, we lost a lot of games by a lot of big points. I mean, so there was a part of that was in this team. But, I mean, a part of that, I think, was a little bit being ahead of themselves. A little bit too much confidence. A little bit of, look what we did last year. Teams came in and punched us in the mouth because they were like, hey, Washington's that team. We got to come up for this game. And they did, and they beat the shit out of us. So, again, man, just to see this team go into Denver against a really, really good team, give them everything you got. For all the draft people that really care about where we're picking, with 6 games left or whatever it is, 5 games left, we're down to pick number 6. So you still lost the game. You still got your draft position, but you're playing the Vikings this week. So I think you might want to prepare yourself for losing some of that draft position because if J.J. McCarthy continues to play the way that he's played, we're probably going to win this game. Whether it's Marcus Mariota or Jaden Daniels, there is potential. We'll get into that on the Minnesota preview show. So again, man, biggest shout out, Josh Connerly Jr., this offensive line. For everybody that's questioning if AP can draft, I was a big proponent on my football forums and things like that of Josh Connerly Jr. I felt like just the positional value, the height, weight, the speed, the few holes that I saw in his game, you don't find players available like that at pick 29 year after year. You're usually finding guys that are short-armed or they have certain deficiencies in their build athletically that are the reason that they're being available to pick 29 in college. Josh Connerly Jr. was not that guy, much less he was a 100% scheme fit as far as the way that they play at Oregon with their offensive line. Needed a little bit of work on the strength. Well, he has really cleaned up the game. I mean, he has really cleaned up the game against Aiden Hutchinson, against this defense who is light years ahead of any team in sacks and all that. Just Josh Connerly Jr. was a great pick. It was the right pick. Anybody that, hindsight, whatever, dude, that was the right pick. I'm sorry, it was the right pick. It's never a wrong time to get yourself a bookend tackle that can play across from Laramie Tunsil and keep your quarterback clean. That was always going to be the right pick. At least for me, because I scouted the kid. I love the kid. I thought he was just a super, super athletic man. He's the type of offensive lineman that you want to build around. Very happy that he's here. AP showing that he's going to prioritize protecting his quarterback long term and the trenches long term. It's something that I'm very thankful for, man, because it's something that we've either been one-sided on in the last couple of years. I remember the Shanahan years and the Jay Gruden years. It was either the offensive line or it was the defensive line, and then for years you would just let the other one go and neglect it. And you just can't be like that, man. It's got to be the defensive line. It's got to be the offensive line. We've shown with Jerzon Newton. We've shown with picking Brandon Coleman. We've seen it with picking Josh Connerly Jr. We are going to very, very much prioritize the trenches on this football team. The front 7 is going to matter. The front 5 on the offensive line is going to matter. And I really think if you want to build a really, really good football team, if you want the Terry McLaurins of the world to shine, if you want the Jaden Daniels to be on the football field, that's the precedent you have to have moving forward. So again, hats off to Denver, great team. They're playing lights out football, man. That defense really, really is good. Vance Joseph has that team really, really operating on all cylinders on defense. Sean Payton is a really, really good coach offensively, man. He just knows how to manage the time. You're not getting the cheap ones with him. And the quarterback marriage, it works. It works for them. Having Terry McLaurin back, maybe you get Noah Brown back, and that's even another offensive weapon. Deebo Samuel being able to operate the way that you intended on him operating all season long instead of him being your number one. It was really, really nice, man. So going into this offseason, I think wide receiver position is definitely going to get addressed. Same with the edge rusher position. Same with the safety position. and even honestly running back, man. I think that you need a more consistent running back with a little bit more juice. Whether that is Bill long term, I don't think Bill stops you from picking a better player. Because Bill can still be an effective piece in his own right with injury and things like that, and just the way that the position gets beat up. Chris Rodriguez, man, hats off to him. He is running physical football. He is earning everything that you want to see from a guy that's putting in the work that he clearly is, man. Because he's hitting the hole hard. He's getting rewarded for it. You can tell this guy has a chip on his shoulder, man. He's just a hard runner. He's the type of runner you want on your football team. There's obviously a reason that we got rid of Brian Robinson Jr. He's playing good. The lack of commitment to Chris Rodriguez Jr. in the fourth quarter, I think I'd like to see that clean up. But when you're playing tit for tat, they're moving down the field. You need to move down the field. Your offense is operating pretty efficiently in the passing game. Sometimes you got to get away from the run game in the critical moments and things like that. But I think Chris Rodriguez has shown that if we are playing with a lead and we need to milk the clock, that we can do that with him. And I think it's just good to have a piece like that on this team. Just hats off to everybody, honestly, man. Seeing Deron Payne come back, play very, very effective. See Frankie Louvu still be impactful. Bobby Wagner moving around. Jordan McGee making the impact that we wanted to see from him all year. It's coming, guys. It's coming. The team is getting younger. It's getting younger in spots. There's a reason why they didn't make any panic trades or get rid of these veterans. The veterans are moving these young guys along, and it's playing effective football. We're going to make a lot of moves in this offseason, man. There's going to be a lot of critical moves that are going to happen for this team moving forward that are going to be younger additions and veteran additions with a little bit of age left in them. So, again, it's going to be a bright future. This was the team that we expected to see more of as the season goes along. If they play like this, man, who knows what they're going to do as far as the rest of the year, man. Like if you're playing like this every game, you're going to be in every game. So as far as the record goes, 5 games left. Who knows? We could win 2 or 3. We could win 5. We could. It could just get tough, and a critical moment that we don't capitalize in, one mistake here or there, you never know. But you want to see Jaden Daniels come back, and you want to see him play good football, and that probably starts this week. We'll hear more about that Friday, so I might have that on my preview for the game. I might wait till Friday to hear the Jaden Daniels news. But again, thank you guys for checking out the pod, man. Really, really love talking about this team. Really love talking football with you guys. Thank you guys for the likes, comments, subscribing, and everything that y'all do for us. I put in a lot of work on this, man. So everybody that subscribes and comments on everything, I comment back. I really, really enjoy it. So I just wanted to say thank you. And have a blessed week. Stay safe out there and enjoy your time with your families. Peace.